Is this the first all-Muslim power panel we've ever had?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
I'm
look
not
at this.
really practicing, but yeah.
I say I'm Muslim-ish because I don't really practice, but yes, this qualifies.
Okay, same.
Yeah, of course.
Baby steps.
Okay, all born Muslim. Let's
Yes.
put it that way.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
Muslim
yes.
born power panel for the first time. Okay, fun for everybody. So Maz, Israel hits Iran, but they did it a kind of what's described as a light strike, right?
Yeah.
So what's your take on all this?
Gosh, as an Iranian American, first of all, I have been watching the country of my birth, Iran, fight with the country of my citizenship for the past 45 years. And every few years, it feels like we're gonna go to war. And every few years, every Iranian is thinking, oh my gosh, on the one hand, we don't like the government, right? Like the Islamic Republic is a totalitarian dictatorship and they're brutal to their people. On the other hand, you go, well, there's innocent people and war, as we know, is not a clean thing at all. So watching it from the outside, I always go, my gosh, what's it gonna solve if these two guys go to war? It feels like two guys are right now at a bar and they're going, let's go. And that's been for 45 years I've been watching that. And it's been either Iran and America or Iran and Israel. And this time it's really getting close. And like for example, when the Iranians struck into Israel, the only tweet I did, I said I need a drink when it was over and we hadn't gotten, no major damage had been done. So it's very nerve-wracking and it's very and I don't know. Gosh, I mean, who wins in war? Who wins? I guess the military, the weapons manufacturers. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's about it. And the oil companies.
And the oil companies, yeah. So
but
really,
only if it's in the Middle East.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hey, look at that. It's almost always in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you. Thank you.
So no, I'll be honest with you. I think that there's a portion of Iranians who hate the regime so much that they want someone to go to war with them because they think that that'll just oust the regime. But we've seen that's not how it works. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So I don't know how you get rid of this regime, but I also don't think that war is the answer.
Yeah, that's really interesting you said that. So one more thing, because I was on Piers Morgan having one of the 1,000 debates about Israel that I've been having, and somebody who's on the Israeli right-wing side, she said, oh no, people of Iran want to be bombed by Israel because they hate their regime so much and they abuse women. And I laughed out loud. I was like, yeah, really? The people of Iran want to be bombed by Israel. You just said that out loud. And she's like, oh my God, are you making fun of the women in Iran who are suffering right now? I'm like, no, I didn't say anything like that. I just said it's comical that they would want to be bombed by by Israel. But you just said that some people might want to be bombed. I've never heard that in my life.
No, I'm not saying that the people of Iran want to be. I'm saying that the people outside of Iran that are in the Iranian diaspora want someone to get rid of the regime. I'm also someone who does not like the regime. I would like the regime to go, if possible, and have a democracy in Iran that's not oppressive to women. I think most Iranians in Iran want that, obviously. But as you just said, the problem with bombing Iran is that how many millions of innocent Iranians would have to die. Also, by the way, you're playing to the hands of the hardliners there, who then say, oh, we're going to shut everything down even more so. So it's a very complicated chess match, but I don't think a major war between Iran and Israel is good for most people in the world, except, like we said, the weapons manufacturers and oil companies.
Yeah, and if they get bombed, they're gonna rally around the flag. They're gonna rally around the regime we want to get rid of. So it doesn't make any sense at all. But when you said diaspora, I was like, bingo, that's what. And then I realized, then a lot of people left comments because we were commenting on Reza Pahlavi's son, who's going around like he thinks he's going to be a king one day, clown of the earth. And so they'll flood this video with comments like, oh, what do you mean he's the great folk? We want a dictator just like him and stuff. And they're like, yeah, it would be great if Israel bombed on our behalf. Hey, brother, if you're going to work for Israel, just say it, right?
Well, the thing on Reza Pahlavi, I'll tell you, I've actually met him before, and he's actually a smart person. And I know that what he has said is that he wants to have the people of Iran decide on their future leader. But as you said, I think that there's a lot of supporters of his who are going, no, you got to be the leader. We want a king again. But those tend to be people in the diaspora. And again, I think ultimately what we can agree on at the base is that the Iranian regime is brutal. It's brutal to women. It's brutal to its religious minorities, which, by the way, is what I always tell Americans. We're headed that way with what the religious right is doing in America. I've seen this play out before, because Iran, before the Islamic Republic, was not a perfect place, but it was freer than it is now. And they take women's rights away, then they take religious minorities' rights away. We're seeing it now in America. They go after the LGBTQ community. So there's a lot of oppressive things that would want one to get rid of the Islamic regime. But again, the question becomes, is a war between Iran and Israel, which, by the way, some people argue that this proxy war has been going on for a long time, and that's why people go, well, Israel. People that excuse Israel's hitting the embassy in Syria, they go, well, Iran has been doing a proxy war with them for years and years, so they were just it was tit for tat kind of a situation. But we're seeing it now escalate to the point where we really got to sit back and go, do we want that? And also, then America gets drawn into it. And we'd be in another, we just got out of Afghanistan and we saw the results of that. We've seen Iraq, is it better? I don't know. I guess Saddam is gone, but I don't know, for the average Iraqi and the number and the hundreds of thousands of Iraqis that were killed in that war, was it better? I don't know. And then now we're seeing again, and by the way, some people say that Iran is the Islamic Republic is, they see him as a hero because they fought they hit the Israelis, and they say, well, they're the only ones standing up for the Palestinians. But the truth is that wasn't for it took the bombing of the embassy, the Iranian embassy in Syria, for Iran to get involved. And it's the whole situation is like we've seen, like after 6 months of Gaza being bombed, has it solved anything? The hostages are still there, and 30,000 innocent Palestinians have died. So what would a war with Iran and Israel actually achieve? You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah. So Yasmin, I mainly want to ask Maz, because he's originally from Iran, but is our all Muslim-born panel agreed that regime change in Iran would be awesome, but it's not up to us to do it, and it's not, and bombing would be counterproductive?
Yeah, and as Maz said, we're all part of diaspora communities, and with the Iranian community, according to what Maz was saying, there seems to be a discrepancy between what the people in the diaspora think should happen or could happen versus the people who are living there, because it is a very different thing to watch something from far away, from miles away, safe, knowing that you're not going to be the one bombed. So there's a lot of conflicting feelings going on there, not just conflicting geopolitical strategies that are being debated right now. No one wants to see this conflict escalate any further than it already has, but we always knew that the Middle East was a tinderbox. And in a lot of ways, Iran is kind of in the middle of a lot of that, even geographically speaking, right? So with all the proxy wars and the military bases and with all of that oil and even with the trade routes, and then on top of everything, there is the cultural and religious significance of that region. What we're seeing play out now is something that we had hoped was avoidable, but we know that it probably really never was avoidable. So, we can pray for a de-escalation at this point, but that seems highly unlikely because, as Maz alleged, there is a second Cold War that's been going on in the Middle East for a long time, for decades, really.
Yeah, and all great points. I think diaspora in a lot of ethnic communities is very different than the people who live in the homeland because we have a different perspective. We have different needs and wants. Like, for example, the Cuban diaspora is desperate to do so, and certainly in the past was very desperate to do an actual invasion of Cuba, no matter who got hurt, because they wanted their land back, they wanted their property back, etc. They had different motivations than the people who live there. And a lot of it might have crossed over, but not the same, right? So let's be careful about taking someone's word for it just because they happen to be from that ethnic group. But it's good to hear different perspectives. And finally, I've never met a single human being who wants to be bombed by another country. So it's not the right way to go.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.